How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AngelsBobs Plus here in Factorio. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series. If you guys have, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe on today's episode. Episode 72. Wait. Yes. Yes. 72. In the last episode, we went ahead and we got our titanium going. And in between episodes, I went ahead and got all of the things we needed set up for that to work. Those included getting the chlorine gas made down here in the southeast of the build, and then just connecting everything up top. Luckily for us, there was nothing major we had to do other than that. So now we have the titanium plating we need for a few different machines and whatnot. So let's see. It looks like we're going to be starting a new... Yep. Yeah, so under the bronze, or I think this is actually brass. So let's go ahead and get that going. Awesome. So, with the titanium now in hand, and if we go ahead and take a look at what we need to get blue circuits made, we pretty much are good to go. So let's go ahead and head back over. Well, first I want to drag all of this over there and get this on the bus, but while we do that, let's kind of think about the next steps we need. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and re-tag this. Awesome. So as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, there's our little to-do list along with the amount of machines to get 12 yellow signs. Pack assemblers made. And I always hate how it does that. And then you can also see it requires LDS and the blue circuits. LDS, low density structure, that's pretty standard. And then, so we need the blue circuits, we need the kind of intermediate blue circuit, which isn't really used for anything other than the blue circuits. We have basic electronic components, transistors, and then the integrated electronics, which are these bottom ones, these little kind of square looking things. And then of course the blue circuit board, which is basically the advanced tier of like the phenolic board or just the basic wooden circuit board. This is in my way. And to move it, simplest way is just going to be this. Awesome. That will probably sit in a chest for a very long time before I ever get around to it. Is there a reason we were bringing carbon down? Well, actually, oh, you know what? This is the old carbon line that I ever tore up. That's right, yeah, because we routed it over here to the right. I see, I see. Yeah, so there are a few components we still need to make. So for instance, I believe we need to, so we're making rubber, then we're making the insulated wire up top, so that will have to funnel over. A few other smaller components. I don't think we need to actually make anything new other than just kind of combining things at this stage to get yellow science packs, which will put us one step closer to getting rockets launched and then moving into kind of that end game stage. Because we do have, actually, I don't know if I talked about it, but we do have the space exploration mod. So normally your kind of end goal, if you will, is to get your rocket, right? Well, we have added, what is this mod? Space extension mod, which basically adds a little bit more to the game. How much, I'm not sure. I have not played with it before, so we will have to find out. But normally, your traditional end, if you will, is launching a rocket, right? And as it says, and you win the game. Now, of course, there are repeatables that you get with the space science packs, which allow you to effectively go into creative mode, if you will, and you don't. There's not actually a creative mode, although there is if you use console commands. But you enter a stage of the game that allows you more or less freedom to just tinker around with builds at that point, because you're no longer pushing for any sort of expansion of your factory. All right. Although you could, and most do, especially once you hit space science, a lot of people usually will start to do mega base things, or they might try to find an optimized build to their more than likely spaghetti factory. But because we do have the space mod, there's quite a bit more that we will be looking at. I don't know how how in depth it is, but it looked interesting, so I figure we will go ahead and add it and just kind of see what it does. Also, but for now, yeah. We also did go ahead and get solar going up last episode. Well, let me rephrase. We started getting the components for our solar arrays being made. Until we get to that point where we're actually going to be using them, I didn't feel that it was necessary for us to actively start placing them down. So, well, we are going to need them. Power is getting quite limited, actually. But that will probably be its own episode of discussing the sizing and stuff like that. But that's not what we're going to do today. Today we're going to focus on trying to get the components we need for science. So some of the components we need to get our science, I don't actually, let me move this just so it's not getting a, because every time you hover over something it brings up the tooltip. So we need about 21 of these, so that's 5. Well, 23 actually. So that's going to be 18, 72, 64. Should be the magic number we're looking for. Let's see if my math was correct. It was. Awesome. Alright, so this is going to be the processing substrate. So just like we needed to make the advanced circuit substrate, this requires fiberglass, copper, silver, and ferric chloride solution, some more ferric chloride, silver instead of tin, and then still requires copper. Now, it does require another thing called fiberglass, and fiberglass is made using glass fiber and liquid resin, so that will be something else we have to invest a little bit of our time into, so we will look at that shortly. Let's see. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, which way this goes in. Can this actually be made in the other? No, yeah, it actually, hold up, it can, okay. You know what? It might make more sense for us to make it in these. Yeah, I don't see this one too. I'm gonna opt for the larger one just because there's more size to it. So it makes doing builds a little bit easier. And in case you're just tuning in, the electronics assembling machine 2 crafts at a 2.25, and the assembly machine 4 only crafts at a speed of 4. But it has limited recipes, so that's why it only really does the electronics. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't really matter which way. I think I'm gonna just do to the right, and then I'll have all the inputs on the left. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all correct. Now time to go ahead and set up all of our underground and things, like so. So in order to get liquid resin, that's going to require a few components, and then the glass fiber as well. So, if I remember correctly, it's going to be some organic compounds we have to combine in order to get the resin. Hopefully we have all of the components already available to us, and I don't have to go too much out of my way with processing up there in the PetroChem area. Otherwise, it could become a little bit of a lengthier thing that I am imagining. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this up like so, all the way up. To infinity and all the way back down. This down one is, of course, for the substrate that we will be producing. It doesn't really matter where it ends off. And because I am lazy, oh, you know what? I just realized that. Oh well. That won't matter too much. Basically what I accidentally did on some of those a lot of the inserters is what you want is you want the intake and the output to be of the same length, right? So when you click on it, so if your pickup position is 2 tiles away, you want your output to also be 2 tiles away, because then the speed stays the same. If you do some wonky thing like this, it actually will slow the inserter down a little bit, which isn't great, but yeah, I don't know if I want to fix it. This doesn't require speed. These machines are going to be very incredibly slow. So technically this is mostly done, so let's go ahead and get power, I suppose. Great part about power poles is you can just click and drag them. If you didn't know that, and they will automatically place so that anything that requires power will get power, right? So if you had a bunch of random things down, like here, I'll show you. Like if I had, if I wanted to power all these inserters, right? Well, you could just do something like this. And notice they're all powered. Not because I randomly placed the power poles, although I did drag them very weirdly. But the game has a built-in mechanic to make sure that anything that needs power when you're dragging power poles over it, will get power. So normally when you click and drag them, it's at their maximum length, right? Well, if I have, say, a string, well, I quickly pick up all these ones up here to just demonstrate this. There we go. So normally, right, so if you click and drag, you drag them all, and then we'll lose 2 spaces. Well, if we start from here, we'll now notice that it placed them so that every single inserter would be covered by power, assuming this was actually connected to power. And that's actually really helpful for when you're doing builds and whatnot. Because then you don't have to worry about clicking and stop. I wish they would do something similar with the pipes. The belts are kind of there. I don't know if that's... I want to say it's Picker doing it with the belts. That's base game, though, with the power pulls. The belt one, where, like, for instance, there's a belt here and you drag... that, I think, is Picker. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't played vanilla Factorio in a while, so I'm not sure what's vanilla anymore. I've been tainted by the modded experience. I don't know what the base game is anymore. Although I did slum it up in vanilla a couple weeks ago, but that was only to do some achievement hunting with a few friends. So I didn't really have to worry about a lot of mechanics. Although it was incredibly fun and enlightening. I highly recommend it. If you guys haven't, try to do the speed... Well, I don't want to say speed run, but try... okay, I don't want to say it's a speed run, but it is a speed run. And the reason I say that it is and it isn't, the reason I say it is because, where is it? Here, finish the game within 8 hours. This achievement's kind of difficult to get if you're not very experienced in Factorio and kind of have a sense of pacing, because you will quickly find yourself overwhelmed. Now, what I did, and by no means do you have to do this, but I did finish the game within 8 hours, win the game with no more than 111 items, right? So, lazy bastard. And where was the last one? Oh, get a locomotive within the first 90 minutes. I did all 3 of those within the same save. That is an incredible challenge. Can you finish the game within 8 hours? Easily. Doing it on top of the locomotive within the first 90 minutes, okay. A little bit of a challenge, but you're still on a timetable. There's nothing limiting you there. The main limitation is the Lazy Bastard achievement, which is 111 items. You can't craft more than 111 items manually, right? So you have to do a lot of things in assemblers, which takes time. And until you have a lot of excess assemblers, it just takes a lot of time. So it was fun. It was very enlightening. It definitely showed you have to pace yourself and you have to go into it knowing, honestly, with blueprints. I tried it blind with no vanilla blueprints, partially because I don't have a whole lot of vanilla compatible blueprints. Most of my blueprints are modded, but you definitely, I recommend going in with blueprints. You don't have to. There are speedrunners who play the game without any sort of blueprints. But at the same time, I also see a lot of speedrunners for Factorio do the same save that is extremely optimized for a speedrun. Along with they would have pretty much the entire factory like this already built and pre-planned out, and they would just blueprint it and build it. And by no means is that wrong, but I feel like it takes away from the spirit of a speedrun. I feel like a speedrun should be doing something somewhat blind, but also doing it somewhat prepared. I mean, Factorio does have blueprints. I just feel like the spirit of having the entire factory as a blueprint is a little bit odd in at least my book, but you know, each their own, I guess. So that is those. So now we need to go plug in the ferric chloride solution, which we already have. We might actually have to scale it up. I don't know how much we're producing. And then the fiberglass. So let's take a look at what we need to get fiberglass. So I'm going to just build it off of here, just so that way, 1, it adds to our thing, and 2, we know how much exactly we need to get. We need 4, so let's go ahead and change that to that. So we need 2, so we need these. I'll just leave it as that. We need this. Ooh, there's 2 different recipes. Okay. So we either need urea, yeah, I think it's urea, and formaldehyde, or we need, either way, we're going to need to make formaldehyde, and then either melamine, yeah, so, we're going to go with the tier 2 one, because it's usually a little bit easier, better in some capacity. Let's go ahead and make chemical plant. Alright, so we need molten glass. What do we need to get molten glass, which is this? I'll mix it with some lime, I suppose. Okay. And then to make melamine, we need urea. Which again, let's go ahead and change to that. So to make urea, we need ammonia and carbon. Okay, well, to make ammonia, we need that. Yeah, see, as you can see, this is going to quickly turn into a rabbit hole of things. So let's go ahead and convert that recipe to its own chain. And just try to remove, yeah. The reason I'm removing all these ones is because I want it to be on its own chain, because otherwise we're going to get this massive list of things. Okay, so we need 2. We know we need 2, so it's... So build it based off the assumption that we need 2, right? So we need that, and then we'll do the top one. Awesome. We're going to assume we can make the tier 3s. Then we know we can make the tier 2s. So then to make this guy, we need that, which means we need that, which means we need this. And then that doesn't matter. Although we need cobalt. Are we making cobalt? It shouldn't matter. It should be fairly easy to get, I suppose. For this, technically, we can actually get the carbon dioxide from doing lime anyway. Interesting. Oh, we're not going to make that much lime. Or rather, we're not going to use that much lime. There's a few different ways we can get carbon. I'm going to go with this way because it seems the easiest in my mind. So let's change that over. Okay. Oh, let's change that one over to the chemical plants as well. Chemical plants are a little bit faster, so it usually results in us not needing a weird number. So that makes that. That makes that. Okay, so what do we need to get formaldehyde? To get formaldehyde, we need methanol. Well, hey, we know how to make methanol. We can get methanol from a few different ways. We can either make it from synthesis gas. We can get it from methane and steam, which I believe is one way we're already actually getting it. And then methane we can get a few different ways as well. So as you can see here, it looks like getting the fiberglass boards are going to be a little bit more complex than we initially planned for. So, yikes. Let's take a look at the map real fast. I'll just drag that down, just down here so I can look at the map, maybe. So we are already making, where is it here, methanol through a combination of hydrogen with carbon dioxide, right? So we already need the methanol. Let's bring it back up here. So we know we can get that fairly easily. Now it's the rest of the components that we're gonna have to take into account here. Well, for some fiberglass boards. I know it's crazy. Honestly, it's these little things. So let's just get rid of the glass for now. The glass fiber. Let's focus primarily on the liquid resin side of things. Wow. I love allergies. They're my favorite thing. So in order to get methane, there's quite a few recipes actually we can use. Yeah, these are all the ones we have access to. So we can make coke and holy shit, get 70 methane. Okay, we might be doing that one. I'm not sure why this is showing, because it requires methane to not even make methane. We get 50 methane that way. We get 90 methane if we add synthesis gas. So the best methane we can produce is with natural gas liquids and synthesis gas. Or we can make coke straight from coal, no need to crush and then burn it, which could be good. Might save some energy. And then we get hydrogen sulfide gas and benzene, which I know benzene's going to be used in rocket fuel. I'm going to actually lean possibly the synthesis gas way. Are we using any methanol, or not methanol, methane now? Getting propane. No, it doesn't look like we're making methane at all. Are we getting any of the components? I don't suppose we are. Okay. So we're not actually getting... Okay, so that's a lot more than I realized we're going to have to set up. Awesome. Okay, so... Then suppose we do this one. That is a lot, actually. That is a crap ton. Holy crap. Okay. What tier machines do we even have access to? We have access to tier 4? No, we don't, technically. We have access to tier 2 of pretty much everything. Okay. So then if tier 2 is my limit, let's plug that into our planner. Because I don't want to, yeah. Okay, so then how do we get natural gas liquids? We can either get it from, raw gas, actually. Go figure. And then the raw gas we can get it from multi-phase oil or natural gas. And the natural gas is giving us the most. And then this guy, we could probably produce this guy, so let's just go ahead and set it to him. That is a lot of machinery, just FYI, for a teeny little bit of resin, actually. There's gotta be a better way of getting methanol, but... Okay, so what was the other method of getting methanol that we talked about? It's getting it from coal. Okay, well, I like already just the amount of coal we're gonna need this way. To get the amount of methane we need to sustain this. Actually, I like this method a lot more. Yeah, because the other way is gonna require us to do all sorts of crap to sustain this, right? So we need 5 of these versus 48 of these. Yeah, no, I'm not. Wait, what? Why does... Okay, now I'm just confused. Oh, I see what it's doing. I'm a dum-dum. Okay, I don't like this about Helmod at all. So notice, it's producing a lot of methane, like a lot more methane than we need. 720. What it's doing is it's actually using this carbon monoxide, which is being used up here. Yeah, we don't want it to be doing that. So let's go ahead and actually set in a separate thing. And now notice it's going to adjust it accordingly. So we only actually need 8, which, okay, is still more because we still need to do processing for the natural gas liquids and just set up other stuff. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to just do it the other way. That I'm going to do this. Coal into coke. The coke we can burn off. What does hydrogen sulfide gas get used in? It gets used in sulfur making. Okay, so that's not bad. And I'm sure we'll have excess oxygen somewhere in this system. And then benzene. What can we use benzene in right now? We can use benzene in that. Ethyl benzene, and then hydrogen fluoride gas, which we don't need. Or we can make a toluene liquid and then hydrogen chloride gas. Again, we don't need either, so we'll probably just vent it. Actually, you know what? We'll store it because it's a weird intermediate product. However, it is the end of the episode, so I will try to figure out the rest of this recipe kind of process making between episodes and kind of hopefully get all the machines crafted up and just things planned. And then in the next episode, we'll go over actually building this, whatever it is. Yeah. Resin making machine thing. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you guys did, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe on the episodes. It really does help with the channel, and I really appreciate it. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.